Welcome back to the Tracy Take. Today, Ryan and I will be previewing the Week 15 Saturday night football match between the New England Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts. But before we get into that, Ryan and I, we have a goal of getting to 300 subscribers by the end of the year, kind of a little Christmas wish list that Ryan and I have. So if this is your first time on the channel, or if you have not already, please subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell so you can see when we create new content. Like this video, share it with your Patriots and Colts fans and friends. Didn't know which word I wanted to say. And Ryan, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Huge matchup for both teams. The Patriots can even more solidify their spot as the number one seed and the division in the AFC East, while the Colts have a tough 4-game schedule left. They are currently the 6th seed in the playoffs. Ryan, as a Patriots fan, what do you think the Colts have to do to beat your Patriots team?
The biggest thing for me is to confuse Mac Jones and really get after him and make him make mistakes. Now, that is going to be a little bit harder said than done, or a little bit easier said than done, because one, the rookie has looked phenomenal. He has not really been confused too easily yet, but also two, the weakness of this Colts defense is the secondary. They have not been the greatest in the secondary, giving up about 245 passing yards a game. So I think that's kind of like their key to victory. I don't think New England has an outside threat that really worries you. I think they just have 3 or 4 guys that they're going to throw at you. And then taking advantage of New England's defense, run defense to be specific. New England has the 19th ranked run defense in the league right now. And they gave up 275 yards to a Titans team without Derrick Henry, giving the ball off to Deontay Foreman and another dude whose name I have never heard of before or after. So their run defense is definitely susceptible to some big plays, and I think the Colts are going to be primed to take advantage of that, kind of what they did against Buffalo. So with that being said, what do you think the Colts have to do to kind of pull this one out?
Jonathan Taylor. That's going to be
Jonathan Taylor.
That's that really is it. I mean, because the dude has come to life. He is now leading the league in rushing. It kind of shows how dominant Derrick Henry was during that stretch, but I digress. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be kind of running the ball through Jonathan Taylor. It's going to be really, really interesting to watch. As I'll actually say that I'll elaborate a little bit more. The X factor of this game is going to be who wins in the trenches. Is Quentin Nelson and Eric Fisher and that Colts offensive line going to be able to stop that defensive front of and the linebacking core of the New England Patriots? So then Jonathan Taylor can get holes, can average 4 to 5 yards a carry, which will then open up the passing game for Carson Wentz and Michael Pittman. It's going to come down to that, I think, because the Patriots, I think, are going to put up about 24 points against this team. That's about what the Colts have been a little bit more than what the Colts have been averaging, and a little less than what New England's been averaging on the offensive side of the ball. So in order to keep up with them, I don't think they're going to do it in the air. I think the secondary and the Patriots' pass defense is too good for that to give up that many points. So they're going to have a very well-balanced attack and dominate on the running side of the ball. Between Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines, they have a great running back duo up there in Indianapolis. They have to have a very well-balanced offense to win. And I think it's going to be really fun to watch. That's going to be the big thing to watch in this game because we know Michael Pittman's going to get his fair share. Carson Wentz, he's going to throw to his tight ends that he likes, Jack Doyle and Mo Alley Cox. They're going to maneuver around, but I don't think they can get 4 touchdowns playing football that way. They need to have a run first offense, and honestly keep Mac Jones and that Patriots offense off the field.
Yeah, well, so that's one of the things too. Is I think just like the Colts, I think the Patriots have to get after Carson Wentz because he has shown when you get in his face, he will throw the ball up for grabs. And New England is one of the most is one of the best teams in the NFL at taking advantage of opportunities when the quarterback throws lollipop passes into the secondary, and Carson Wentz has done that on a couple occasions. So I do think that the pass rush for New England is going to be very crucial, especially if the Patriots get a lead. I have noticed, and this is one of the things that I think a lot of people have started to notice, is that when New England gets a lead, they don't squander it. And I know that sounds elementary for a dynasty that's been going on for 20 years now, but they just haven't let teams back into it. I remember I was sitting at the Falcons game, and they were up 16-0, and Matt Ryan was going back, and whether he wasn't always getting hit, but there was always a guy in the backfield. Always a guy back there. That pass rush has just really come to life with Kyle Van Noy, Matt Judon, Christian Barmore has been a huge help up the middle. And even guys like Danny Ekwale it has made an impact in the Bills game. So they definitely have a good rotation of pass rushers to get after Carson Wentz. I just think they're going to have to play very run heavy on defense, which is going to open up things in the passing game. So we'll definitely have to see. Who do you think comes out on top in this one? Because I'm really curious to hear your opinion. You're going to pick me or Dad in this one?
Yeah, so those who don't know, our father's from Indianapolis, so he's a big Colts fan, and I think it's going to come down to coaching at the end of the day, and I know I said Jonathan Taylor and win in the trenches, and that's obviously is going to be important, and I think the Colts are going to do that. But Bill Belichick and the organization has had a week and a half, or actually just shy of 2 weeks to prepare for this game against the Colts. And I just think it's similar to kind of my picks for our Thursday Night Football game where I picked Kansas City Chiefs. It is hard to go against Bill Belichick in December. There has still been some inconsistencies with the Colts. I think the Patriots have just been playing too hot at this point in the season, coming off a big win against the Bills in a very tough atmosphere, and won a lot of good games against some good teams. I think it's going to be tough, but I think that the Patriots are going to pull this one out. I think it's going to be 24-21 Patriots.
Okay. I do appreciate the pick. I am going to have to agree with you. I think this could be a really rough game for New England. I think Indianapolis up front is really solid. We saw what Tennessee was able to do with a slightly above average offensive line against this defense. And granted, I think New England at that point was just trying to keep the plays in front of them, make Tennessee take long drives, use up the clock, because we knew that Tennessee was not going to be able to stop our offense. But definitely cause for concern there. And I think Indianapolis is definitely going to be able to take advantage of that. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have another 125-plus yard day with a touchdown or two. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think Bill Belichick is going to be able to find a way to just keep Indianapolis under 24 points. And I think Josh McDaniels is going to find a way to just barely get over 24 points. I'm going to say the New England Patriots win 27-21. I just think New England at this point is a more well-rounded team. I think Mac Jones is going to have a really good game against the secondary. And I'm excited for this one. I think this is the New England's second to last tough test. But I really think New England can separate themselves from the pack in this game. Or they can definitely come right back to the middle of it in this one. So it's an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. The Colts are going to have a much tougher road because they have this game, play the Cardinals next week, and then the Raiders, and then I think they end with Jacksonville. So that's a pretty easy finish there. But with this one of the things I think that the Colts are going to need to address in the offseason is they're going to need to have another receiver threat on the outside with Michael Pittman. They have a solid tight end combo, just kind of for what they do with Mo Alley Cox and Jack Doyle, but they don't really have that other receiver threat. Zach Pascal has had an okay year. T.Y. Hilton, unfortunately, I think has been kind of on and off due to injuries and then also just age as well. So, and with that, this Patriots, if they're going to be able to take Pittman out of the game, and I just don't know where they're going to be able to find consistent passing production. And so that's why Jonathan Taylor, I think, is just going to have an absolute game. The offensive line is going to have an absolute game to keep this one close for them.
Yeah. But, I mean, we can sit here and talk about it all we want, but on Saturday, these players are going to play, and we're going to find out. So I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Tracy Take. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Tyler and I have a goal of getting to 300 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you have not already, please go ahead and do that and help us have a Merry Christmas. And if not, we will see you guys next time.